But hello and good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us on this very interesting webinar this evening. And we are recording this session, so whether or not you want to be in the recording, you may keep your cameras on or off. We're going to take about a half an hour of your time talking about the importance of internships and the kinds of internships that we can offer to you through our very valuable partner, Investin. And to talk about Investin today is their International Relationships Manager, Richard Lawless, is with us. Hi, Richard. Welcome on board.
Thank you very much.
I say on board because you're almost part of the team with us. Richard, I can just say likes Turkey very much, likes Turkish people very much, and likes to be in Turkey very much, and likes Turkish food very much. Which was your favorite Turkish dish, Richard?
Again? Iskender kebab.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
It's worth the trip to Turkey for each and every one of them. Great. Now, Investin is a company that we have partnered for internships because it's very unique and because it's one of its kind and because it's really the only company in the whole of UK that provides the exact solutions for students who are between the age of 15 and 18 that study anywhere in the world and have aspirations to study in the UK mainly. But again, it's just as valuable for their CVs for any other part of the world, wherever they go for their higher education. And I just want Richard to give us maybe a short background on who Investin is and what they do. If I move my slide.
Brilliant. So hi, everyone. Thank you for joining the call. And it's always a pleasure to be with Fulya and the team. So Investin started 12 years ago. And it started because the co-founders realized that they had not been prepared for their jobs. They'd been to the best universities, Oxford, Cambridge, LSE. They had fantastic jobs in the City of London, but then realized that what they were doing is very different to what they thought they were going to be doing. And so they realized, so they decided to do something about it. And back in 2012, they did an afternoon for school students. Now we fast forward 12 years and we've had 70,000 students go through our programs. We've had students from over 100 countries, and we partner with over 1,300 schools, both in the UK and overseas. And for the last 10 years, we've been going into schools such as Eton, Harrow, Oxford, Queen Ethelburgers, Sevenoaks, as well as all of the Duke schools, offering employability, offering skill sessions to help students think about what job they're going to have in the future. And this has allowed us to become the UK's experts in offering career programs.
Yes. Investin is a unique provider that has grown over, especially COVID, I think, because they've managed to keep all these experiences available for students who wants to do them online and globally. Is that correct, Richard? I've had students that attend weekend sessions, day sessions with you. And time to time, that is also on offer. So these experiences are not just available in person, but for those who can't make it or on different time zones or in different school calendars, they can also do most of the skills, perhaps on a shorter, program, still online. Now, why do we call this the ultimate experience? Now, from an advisor's point of view, I know there's nothing like it. I have been to see almost every different skill program, career program that is on offer. There are, I think, 15 at the moment. And I've seen the students in action. I've seen the professionals in action. I've seen the whole work experience take place in various parts of London. So London is like their hub, is like the workplace, and they can be anywhere in London to attend their courses and attend their work experience sessions on, let's say, engineering, on medicine, on law, and they would be out and about in the field doing what the professionals usually do on their day-to-day running of their careers. Do you want to add anything here, Richard?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to skip to the next slide because essentially what we do, as Fulya says, is we deliver the ultimate work experience. We're the only program globally that works only with industry experts from one of 15 different careers. So instead of sitting in a classroom, the students will be going to one of 200 venues that we rent across London. And these venues are professional venues, are industry-based venues that allow the students not only to interact with their professionals, but also get an idea, get a feel for what the jobs are like. And what we do is for 1 or 2 weeks, we take them on this experience that allows them to see the whole industry. So the whole of engineering, the whole of banking, the whole of law. And we run immersive simulations, activities, seminars, and the students will get career guidance from those professionals. Okay, so over the 1 or 2 week programs, they'll be getting a deep insight to the industry and experiencing it firsthand about what it's like. And they will decide, is this what they want to do, or is this not what they want to do?
Absolutely. I will be talking about some of my students' feedbacks to us after they've attended the sessions last summer and the summer before. But here are the various different fields that the students can engage in. These are based on the mainstream professions that students, would want to study for. So, for example, from Turkey, the most popular program, I would say engineering. Is that correct, Richard? You've had most applications from Turkey for engineering?
That's
and
correct.
Then
so we have 5 big ones, which is medicine, law, engineering, psychology, and investment banking. But from Turkey last year, what we saw was a huge spike in entrepreneurship, and computer science as well.
My student Alp for entrepreneurship last summer has actually said to me, I did not know that taking an idea from the first day you dream of it to the day that you actually make money from it is so intricately planned and complicated, but is so mapped out for us that I can now tell anybody who has a business idea the route to follow. It was that simple for him after he's joined this program. Now, for me, the most popular among my students for your programs has been engineering, law. I've had students in your investment banking program. Students have actually loved learning how to invest their money, what to do with it, and what the current trends are, everything about crypto money, digital currencies. And they've come back to me with all sorts of positive feedback. I've had students in even your fashion program where a student has actually taken part in a fashion show and was the makeup artist for the whole fashion show. And she has some amazing photos from the whole 2 weeks that she spent there that formed a part of her portfolio when she applied to UAL this year. So
Amazing.
it actually looked that she's done something. She was hands-on, she was practical with her work, and she knew exactly what the fashion industry was about. This is what the internship programs in the UK can help the students obtain: a vision, an insight, a whole different experience compared to what they can read about or what they can watch about or what they can hear about. This is totally immersed. When we say immersed, it means the student is actually in there with the professionals doing the work that they actually do to run their living.
I think you're spot on with that, Fulya. And I think the programs that we deliver really solve a problem in that schools, whether it's in the UK, whether it's in Turkey or globally, are not able to provide effective career guidance, effective skill sessions that will enable students to understand what they need to be successful in their university applications, but also future employment. And because our programs are only delivered by industry experts, from what all of the programs that we deliver, the students can actually engage and interact with those professionals, which adds credibility, but also it allows the students to kind of relate better to that industry. And what we find is that students are a lot more motivated after the programs, and therefore, they are more successful in their university applications, whether it's in the UK or the US or Europe.
And where else in the world, yes. I will actually confess here that I've helped write a minimum of 20 personal statements this year where we mentioned their experiences with you. So it was everything from architecture, engineering, psychology, filmmaking, fashion, whatever programs that they've attended, we've managed to fit it into their personal statement perfectly in line with their goals. And today we had a feedback from one of the high schools in London, one of the really hard to get into high schools, Highgate. It's a very top school, sixth form in Highgate. And they've actually given us a feedback about one of our students who applied to their sixth form to say, your student has mentioned everything they've done in their preparation for their career, including their summer spent at Investin. And I think
Amazing.
that is you're smiling, you're laughing now. This is the first
I
time
love
hearing
that.
from me because this happened today. And I wanted to share the good news with you. I just want to say to all the parents and everyone online that you are allowed to ask questions. You can put it in the chat or put your hand up and we'll let you have a go at the microphone. But I will also share some videos with you about these different experiences in a few slides, and maybe we can give you some case studies of some of these programs. So for example, while I'm switching slides, I can just move from this. Before we talk about the different venues that these students go to, can we start with medicine, please, Richard? What does a medicine internship student do and where does he or she go?
Absolutely. So with medicine, we provide the opportunity for students to have masterclasses with real doctors who will give their knowledge, give that kind of experience about what they have done in their career journey. We will then take them into a real hospital with the doctors. They will do shadow ward rounds. They will use the latest medical technology to diagnose patients. They will learn how to consult with patients, take blood, do suturing. We will then also recreate the emergency room. And we will put the students into medical teams, and we have robotic patients that are linked up to computers and linked up with AI. And we can simulate a whole manner of different illnesses or conditions or emergencies. And it allows us to simulate the stress and the pressure that a doctor faces when in an emergency room. And for students, this is a fantastic opportunity to figure out, is this what they want to do? Does this really excite them? Does this
It
align with
excites
what
me.
happens in Grey's Anatomy, right?
Yeah.
And because on our program, we have lots of university students acting as advisors as well, a lot of the medical students who are currently at university say to the students, the stuff you're doing on your Investin program, you don't normally do until you're in year 3. Okay.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it's very, very high level.
Super curricular
And
indeed. Yes.
yeah, absolutely.
Great. So this is actually unimaginable to use AI in medical career training. This is amazing. And like you said, if a medicine student can actually say to the work experience students that this is something they will only face at university in their 3rd year, just imagine how advanced the level of curriculum that we're applying here, that the students are sort of, engaging in here. I think it's amazing. It really
In the
makes me
space of
feel
2
so
weeks.
absolutely. It makes me feel so jealous. So let's talk about all these venues. Now, the top left-hand corner, oops, let's go back. Here is what setting is this? This is the dentist's room or a hospital emergency?
In the venues, that's the hospital that we go to.
Okay. And the yellow, beautiful, sexy car, whose car is that?
I'd love to say it's mine. Unfortunately, it's not mine. So we rent over 200 venues across London. That is part of the Europe's largest collection of supercars.
Wow.
And during that day, our students will work alongside engineers from companies like Rolls-Royce or McLaren. I think we had McLaren engineers last year.
Wow. Yes.
To the right of that, you have a football stadium. Not my favorite, I have to be honest. It's the Arsenal Football Club Stadium, the Emirates. I prefer
But it
Stamford
is an
Bridge in
amazing,
Chelsea.
a very, very impressive stadium. So why do we go there? Why
So
would we
we
go
rent
to a
that stadium for the day,
Hmm.
and we take our psychology students to that stadium, and
Hmm.
they will be spending the day with the sports psychologists there to understand how psychology is used in sport. The next day, they could be going up to the Shard that you see in the top right-hand corner, where they'll be working with a commercial psychology company to understand how psychology is used in business. The next day, they'll go to the world's oldest mental health hospital, where they'll better understand clinical psychology.
Wow. Wow. I thought Shard was just a place that we climb up to go and see beautiful views of London. There you go. How educational can you get? Well, I spent my last birthday there on an afternoon tea.
Oh, lovely.
Right, and let's move on. So again, yes, most excellent locations, next to none, basically. Here, simulations. You've mentioned AI in medicine. What are we doing in other parts like engineering and dentistry and aviation?
Sure. So in dentistry, we take them to a real dentist surgery where they'll be learning lots of different dental procedures. They will take casts of their teeth. The students get very excited about this. They learn how to do it, and then they do it on each other. And then they actually go and see how the dentists perform multiple operations. In the middle, you will see a crime scene. It's nothing to worry about. It's part of our forensic science program.
Wow.
We recreate crime scenes in London. And what's incredible about this one is that this program is led by the man who advises Amazon and Netflix TV series on crime. So that's the professional who's leading our program. You'll see as well the jumbo jet in the top right-hand corner. We rent that for the day. That's from a James Bond movie. And during this day, the students will walk around the plane with engineers from places like Virgin Atlantic or British Airways. You can see there as well the hospital. That's not a real patient. That's the robot. You can see it's linked up, and the students being put through their paces. The bottom right-hand corner, you'll see the London Academy of Trading, where students will actually go and trade on the stock market using the portals, the official portals. It's not real money, it's dummy money. But whoever makes the most money each day will actually win a course from the London Academy of Trading as well.
Okay, cool. Now, can I, in this instance, show a video? A lot of the parents say our students, our kids aren't allowed to take part in anything, even for observation in a hospital. So how can they gain medical work experience when this is the case? Safeguarding in the UK is a big concern for every institution, for every public institution. So we take our job really seriously in making sure that our kids are well protected. So the doctor simulation is almost the real thing, but under the safest circumstances. So can we possibly play this 1 minute video? I think this was 1 minute, wasn't it? Does it work? No, the link doesn't. No, okay, let me try it on mine.
You've got to wrap this around in a club, right? Yeah.
Okay, well, I've done it. So let me share my screen. I wonder. Oops. I'm sorry. Can I? It's a YouTube video. Can you open this? You're doing it? Okay, sorry. This is a little bit.
It's just, I think, whilst that's getting sorted, I think
Yeah.
it's really important to note that on our program, we're supported by over 1,000 professionals. And over the last 12 years, we've built up this relationship with them. And this is the final product. This is what your students, your children will get to see and experience. So I think press play.
Okay, can you press play, Nazar? Yeah.
Hi. Around connect and no it's like balance, and it's different from the dog.
This is called online. No, pull the wings. We try. It's supposed to be 20 degrees. And take this.
It's a little bit slow, but
You can see it. The blood is going in.
Open it side. Press onto it.
okay. Thank you so much, Naz. This was a video of students learning from a doctor on the medical experience program how to find a vein, how to find an IV line. Is that correct, Richard?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a procedure that students will follow to take blood. And essentially what happens to start with, they'll have a masterclass and a seminar delivered by the doctor who will take them through the knowledge aspect, learning about the different veins, learning about the kind of the medical knowledge around it. And then we take them to the medical wing and they actually have lots of prosthetic arms They feel very real to the touch, and then they learn how to take blood. It's also what we use for suturing as well.
Great, great. Imagine a 15-year-old on this program who decides whether this is the actual path for them to follow or not by experiencing all this, because then they've got the next 3 years in shaping their super curriculars and shaping all their preparations, in preparing for their UCAT exam, knowing that they're going to be a doctor because they've seen it all in action and they've decided it's the right route for them. Great. So we have the options, 1 week, 2 week, and the 2 week premiums. Now, these are all available for all the courses, right? This is what I'm usually telling my parents and students. So if you want to step in here and talk about the 2 week residential that I usually recommend.
Yeah.
So what is the difference between the premium and the residential, Richard?
Sure. So I'm with you. My actual role is I look after all of our global partnerships outside of Asia. And in every single market, I'm actually recommending as my main one, the 2 week residential program.
Yes.
This is the kind of the best entry point, because it allows all of the students to meet all of the professionals, get the full experience, make use of the weekend in the middle where they get to enjoy a bit of London culture, a little London sightseeing. And it's a fantastic opportunity for students to really practice their skills. Also, if students are looking to get their level 3 qualification, they need to do a minimum of 2 weeks. Okay. We also offer a 2 week premium program. Now, this is a great program that allows students who know where they want to go to university, know what job they want, and they're adamant they know. Our 2 week premium program is fantastic because we bring in more professionals to really help the students build out their applications. Okay, this will include psychometric testing, personality testing, advanced sessions on leadership, communication, teamwork, as well as having the opportunity to meet some of the UK's leading universities, who will again run through what do you need to include in your application? How can you make yourself stand out? Because at the end of the day, the outcomes of our program are that we want students, 1, to be more clear on what job they're going to have in the future, and 2, know how they're going to go and do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I need to, first of all, talk about the main venue where the students stay and the reasons why. All of the experienced students stay in the central London student accommodations, mainly university accommodations. This does not just give them an insight into a university living and lifestyle of university students in London, but also provides them a very safe and central environment. Now, a lot of the parents say, when you say work experience, when you say careers immersion, they assume that the student actually goes to a workplace. Now they do, but this is where they stay. This is their meeting point. This is their central living hub for the 2 weeks. And also, I must mention here, which is this is not something that Turkish parents are very familiar with. There is something called safeguarding in the UK, and I do train a lot of my parents on what this involves and what it means for them and for me and for their children while they're in the UK. Basically, for students who are under 18, we have to make sure by law that they're supervised at all times, that they're in protected environment all times, and that they are within insured spaces. So we cannot allow students to stay wherever they like or with whoever, because we're responsible while they're in the UK and while they're in this program. So this kind of a residential package ensures their safety and that it creates a networking and a togetherness environment for all of them, because then they move in their classes, in their groups. Like Richard said, sometimes they're split into medical student groups and they do different things. They go to different places, like they would go to an airport, they would go to, as you said, a stadium, and this would be their living point and kickoff point. Is that correct?
Absolutely. So in line with everything about our program, we want to make sure the students will get the best accommodation possible. So we use the University of London accommodation, garden halls and college halls. Every student will have, this is guaranteed, every student will have an ensuite room that's private. So there's no sharing of facilities and it's their own safe space. And as Fulya is excellently explaining, is that we take safeguarding extremely seriously. We're part of the UK's fastest growing education group, and our level of safeguarding has to be in line with that of our colleges. So our safeguarding levels are enhanced, and it's something that we take extremely seriously.
Thank you. It's a great peace of mind to know this, that the students are well looked after in terms of their food, where they stay, their safety, and their well-being. All the parent has to think about is when they should go and what program they should go, really. And here we are, the benefits. The academic benefits is actually what we're looking for, isn't it? So everything put aside, I've got to tell you what I use these work experiences for. How good is it and why should they do it? Here's the rundown, the short list. First of all, we use all the work experience programs to aid their UCAS applications. Now, UCAS recognizes this as a qualification, and UCAS actually allows the students a specific space in their application forms to mention Investin, which is very important. Not every summer school provider is on there, and this is where the difference is. Investin is not just a summer school provider, as this is not a summer school. There's a great difference in what they have on offer, and almost every student that's benefited from this has actually utilized their outcome in terms of skills and qualifications in their university applications, about which I am very happy. Now, UCAS points is something that Investin proudly offers as, again, another unique feature of the Investin programs. This helps students apply to higher placed universities that asks for specific UCAS points. It helps them complete their portfolios on UCAS. For those parents who do not know what UCAS is, it's the common application platform for all the UK universities that every student who wants to study in the UK has to use. It's just like ÖSYM in Turkey or Common App in the US. And every student that participates gets 2 documents, a certificate of participation, which you would get anyhow, but a unique personalized reference letter talking about what your child has done, what they've achieved, and what they were involved with, and how it's helped them. So this you can use as part of their CVs, as part of their university applications, and it's also proof that they have done a very unique work experience. Is there anything you would want to add here, Richard?
No, I think you've got it spot on. I think the key thing to remember is that our program, the benefits of our program don't last just a few months after the summer.
No.
The benefits of our program will happen after the summer, but for the next few years, until they're at university, until they've got an internship, until they've got a job. Because if we can help students understand at the ages of 15 to 18 what they want to do and how to get there, and put into place some pathways for them, then the benefit they're getting from just 2 weeks with Investin in the summer is massive.
Absolutely. I just want to mention here, which is not listed here, if those parents that are in this webinar right now with children that are already in schools in the UK will know, the Duke of Edinburgh program necessitates the students do a residential experience. And this program fulfills that criteria for Duke of Edinburgh at gold level. So if your child has taken the gold level Duke of Edinburgh program, they do not have to do the residential experience with their school or anywhere else. They can take this program and fulfill the residential part of their requirements. So that's many birds in one stone.
Yeah.
I just want to go back to that slide though, because here on the bottom picture, there are 2 really pretty girls with funny looking wigs on their hair. Now, this may be something we see on films usually, but this is actually what they wear in actual courtrooms. And you see our work experience students in a courtroom. Can we talk about the legal work experience a little bit, Richard?
Absolutely. So that picture is a great picture to point out. That's actually the Supreme Court. It's the #1 court in the UK. And we take that court over for a day. And during that day, students will deliver a real trial in front of a real judge. Okay,
Wow.
So they're broken down into prosecution, into defense, We bring in students from forensic science to act as expert witnesses. And this is a really, really good opportunity for students interested in law to be able to, again, feel what does the job feel like, to understand what is the pressure when you're standing up in front of a judge, trying to get your point across. And over there, you've got the defense ready to kind of get back at you. It does lead to a few heated debates, which is great. That's law. But it is a fantastic experience for the students to really see themselves as a lawyer.
In action. Absolutely, in action. So make or break in somebody's life, isn't it? This is an amazing experience. It really makes me feel like, oh, I wish I did all this. I wish there was this opportunity when I was studying. So here's a sample work experience letter, which you can add to your CVs and enhance your portfolio with. And it talks about everything the student has done and the dates, and there's actual people signing these documents, Heta Shamir and Dr. Kali.
So I'll just quick note on this one.
Yeah.
We've had, as I mentioned, over 70,000 students come on our program. We did an alumni survey last year and found that 75% of students who've been on our program have used this reference letter as part of their application to university and got their first choice.
Brilliant. Like I said, I've done at least 20 personal statements this year talking about these experiences. So well done, you. Now, we're coming to the end and I want to give some space for questions in terms of time. So the dates are July and August, and the August dates are only for the major 4 programs. Is that correct? So if you want to get in there, you want to really book yourself for the July dates this year.
Absolutely. I always, again, I recommend an intake. It's always the 28th of July. This is where students will be able to get that full summer experience where we've got all 15 programs running. So very, very busy. Students from all over the world. It's the best time to be in London as well, if I'm being honest. So the July intakes are the best ones. And it's really, really just a great vibe when you're walking around garden halls or you're walking around London and you bump into more students wearing Investin lanyards. And to note, we have just under 3,000 students on our summer programs. Wow. 50% of them are English and American, and then 50% come from over 100 countries. So whilst it may sound a lot that, oh my gosh, there's 3,000 students, that's broken down into 3 intakes and 15 different industries.
Yes, so it's never too many.
Never too many.
Right, so a typical day starts at 7:30 with breakfast, ends at 11 with lights out, but there's a lot going on throughout the day and the students are always kept busy. You can see all the programs in advance, and I'm happy to send through all these information, what the students do at any part of their day. And I'm happy to send also references from my past participant students. On average, I have looked at my data last year. To be honest, almost 1/3 of my students have repeated their experience with Investin. So they've come in not just in 2022, but also in 2023. But those who were first timers in 23 will be joining again in 2024, 25. So it kind of follows a pattern where the student can try one area and then want to try another area because they're sometimes in 2 minds about what to do in the future. So this gives them a perfect decision-making time in their life, I guess. Right. So program fees, I'm happy to share with you. You can take screenshots, but to go back to the contents of the programs and anything else that you want to ask, now is your time if you have any questions.
I'm just going to put my hand up and admit there is a typo. The 2-week premium residential program isn't £72,000.
No, what the hell? Oh my God, you put the comma in the right place. Okay,
it's £7,250. So apologies for the typo.
Extra 5. Yes. Okay. This is no.
I mean,
they would be buying the next 10 years.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so let's go back to these various different areas. So any questions from anyone, please, you can type, you can put your hand up, and you can also ask in Turkish. And if there's anyone who's not, sure of, perhaps what to add here, They can share slides from this with their families and children, and then I can also give you further information on a one-to-one basis later on. Thank you for joining me, Richard.
You're more than welcome. It's always a pleasure. And hopefully we'll see lots of your students join us over the summer. And as always, I'm always on hand for Fulya and the team. So if you do have any questions and you need them answered, please reach out to the team. Fulya knows that she'll get a pretty quick response from me.
Yes,
Otherwise, life is not worth living. Let's be honest.
Otherwise, I make it hell. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, but on the promise of Iskender kebab to Richard, you can see him in Turkey also. How's that?
Yes, good idea. January or March.
Brilliant. Look forward to seeing you, and thank you for joining us. So it seems there's no questions, but this is recorded. It will be uploaded to our YouTube as well. Now I can stop the recording, and thank you for joining us. Have a great evening.
You're welcome. Thank you. Have a great evening, everybody, and look forward to seeing you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.